Mundo then taken away because Mundo right now is just so ridiculously strong and tanky. We've seen both Mima and Naruto actually playing Mundo up until now in the group stage for promotion. The final ban was Elise.
Yeah, but they are leaving open a couple of comfort picks here for TCM. I wouldn't expect to see a Lissandra ban, but sometimes you do see Respect Volibear bans against Naruterador. So, you know, they've got open very strong things. Jax also open here. Mima unlikely to want to pick his top laner right now, but Lucian, very, very common, very, very strong.
Yeah, incredibly strong right now. First pick in there for Super Hot Crew in this game. So TCM, what are they going to go with here for their first two choices? That Mundo taken away, as you said, Naruto not scared of playing himself a little bit of Volibear. JWoww, we've already seen, once he gets rolling with Jax, is incredibly hard to stop. And it honestly won't be a surprise for me to see a Jax come out here right at the very start.
Yeah, Jax is a laner who is very difficult to deal with. However, I think at the moment TCM won't want to pick Jax because they're not committing themselves at the moment, especially with these two picks here. They're not committing themselves to a split pushing style, and that's generally what you want Jax for. He's not actually as good at team fights as some people believe because he can do extremely well in them, but if he is not really in perfect position, he is liable to get kited out.
Unless he gets Trinity Force, Blade of the Ruined King, and then a Guardian Angel, as we saw yesterday from JWoww, at which point you just say, well, this game's probably over because this Jax hurts and he doesn't really die very easily. Oh, we have to kill him twice, technically. So SHC then, let's see what they add into this Lucian pick. Annie is still open, funnily enough. We saw Zyra being taken away there for Barney D, most probably. I don't expect Belgium Beast to run that Zyra in the middle. It's pretty much only Cowtard that's doing that these days, to be honest.
You never know, though, because the last changes directly to Zyra did increase her AP ratios at the expense of her base values. It's a possibility. I do agree it's unlikely we'll see that, but the preemptive Zyra pick, they're kind of blocking out Annie as an option because that is generally her anathema, that's her weakness. She really doesn't do well against that, even though she's still Annie, she still does pretty decently. It looks like they want that more reliable AoE stun there. Getting Sona picked out. Although actually, I've got to say, Sona's not a huge amount better than Annie against Zyra directly.
Yeah. On the opposite side then for TCM, we'll see what they add in here. And Caitlyn, who Motroko has been going for. If I remember rightly, the last time we saw TCM, which would be against Caronte, actually, I think they banned out Caitlyn against Motrogo. We've had so many games over the last couple of days that they kind of all melded a little bit into one. Shen, of course, who had gone through the banning phase, and the picks up until now, it looks like will be the choice for JWoww in the top lane.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice, though. It means they are confident in their ability to win the lane outright, because Renekton generally does actually push back Shen early on. If he can build a big enough advantage, and we do see it go both ways, he will keep himself just a step ahead of Shen for pretty much an entire game as time goes by. And Renekton, although he doesn't have the ability to teleport down to join the team, he can be a much bigger teamfight presence if he's actually in it, thanks to the AoE damage he puts out, and he pushes lanes faster than Shen as well, so he can push out, then go back and join up his team, and then eventually respond to Shen, or force Shen to teleport down, but be more significant in influencing how the fight goes himself by being Renekton as opposed to Shen. But obviously, if Shen gets to be on roughly equal gold terms as time goes by, he will be able to just push Renekton back, which will mean that Renekton is pushed up against his tower, and Shen gets to do what he loves to do, and just teleport out whenever something else is going on the map.
Well, it looks like we might be seeing a Morgana pickup. We've already seen Moops been playing that one so far here in promotion, and it seems like Impaler is going to get himself the Olaf for the jungle. So that leaves them all set up, and Moops' Morgana has been impressive up until now.
Yeah, seen it at least once already, and I believe playing against Zed, which was...
Yes, it was.
It was a very unusual pick, but made it work, and props to him. That's a difficult lane matchup to win out on. That being said, in this game, he's got much better odds because I think Ziggs in that situation won't be able to poke Morgana out. Might be able to push a little bit harder and a little bit faster, but sustainy, Morgana is always going to be very, very strong and will transition into being more of a team fight presence than Ziggs. Ziggs will always have that ability to influence the map globally, though, so it does seem like TCM are actually looking for quite a split push heavy style after all.
Well, we saw them hovering over Skarner for a little while, a champion that's we just don't see around really much anymore. And in the end, oh no, he switched last second there, so I'm glad I didn't get that one out. We talked about Volibear and the fact that Neutrador likes to run him, but it's actually going to be the Nasus for him this time around.
Interesting. Haven't seen a lot of Nasus, but if you are going to go with a very split push heavy style, Nasus works quite well on several counts. He can assist in lane pushing quite well for a jungler, has big AoE, magic damage which he can clear waves with, apply map pressure with, and will, if he is left to solo farm himself and push out by himself, he will actually build himself up to be a very significant threat in his own right. Plus, it means that they have the ability to very easily take Dragon if they're able to create an opportunity, because they only need one person left completely alone, and they can just take Dragon for free.
And the fact is that, you know, junglers have started to become a lot more carry-based, I guess we can say that, in terms of, you know, the patches with a change. Junglers spend a lot of time just farming, getting...
People have played our solo queue, and they always start the same. You buy what you want to buy, and you've always got that planned out ahead of time. In this situation, maybe that actually messes with them, but it does look like a super hot crew. Honor is dead. Maybe, or not.
Belgian Beast came back.
Ooh. I think they're not sure whether to...
No, it's all a little bit messy, isn't it, at the start of this one? I think they might end up just saying, I have no idea what's going to happen, where Belgian Beast's going to appear, and all that crazy stuff. So what do? Do we sit back defensively here? Do we go aggressive? At the moment, they are still sat with these 3 men in the bottom brush, so they may very well actually just come back up and go for that late blue invade.
Yeah, they have a quite strong level 1 fight here, and this is the weird thing, because I said Honor is dead, but it's almost remiss of them not to take advantage of how strong their level 1 fight is. Super Hot Crew have the potential to catch and burst people really, really hard, and the potential to gain a lot of vision control from this. So this does actually seem like arguably TCM's disconnect may have favored TCM there.
Well, right now we see a 3-man invade coming down on towards the blue buff here of Super Hot Crew. And on the other side, we're going to see 3 men coming in as well. They've actually managed to land the binder here on towards J1. Oh, fail flash! Fail flash! Haydal picks up the first blood. That is not what they wanted to happen. Meanwhile, over on the other side, blue buff started off. Naruto is actually really low here. Needs to be careful. They put the ignite down on towards Impaler. That blue buff should go over to Naruto unless he messes something up. There is the blue buff being picked up. And the blue buff on the other side, did they actually finish it off? They did. And that went over to... Where did it go? Morgana, there she is. I'm like, I can't find her. Moops is in the mid lane, picked up that one. So they got first blood. They stole away the enemy blue. Impaler obviously not getting a blue here at the start, but I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with this one. That first blood went to the AD carry as well.
Yeah, and it's Lucian who is going to not have the chance to go back right now, but it will mean that when he does, he will be able to accelerate that build in a way that will make him even scarier for Shen to have to deal with. TCM put a little bit on the back foot from that, but now can Super Hot Crew actually take advantage of it? Because in the 2v1 situation, Caitlyn and Zyra are going to push significantly harder and significantly faster, and Renekton will be better at defending towers.
Yeah, and that's why right now Super Hot Crew not really pushing this one at all. They're trying to completely starve Shen out for as long as they possibly can. Haydal gets himself farming, as you said, completely opposite on the other side of the map though. Trocco and Barney already doing damage to this outer turret. And JWoww almost not daring to really come off of his turret here. Obviously starting out with that Doran shield. Naruto still didn't pick up a trinket, by the way. He's not been back yet, so
yeah,
it's to be expected, I suppose.
He's probably realized.
I'm assuming he's going to realize when he goes home.
If he doesn't, that'll be really awkward. But these stranger things have happened. It is a new aspect to the game. People aren't familiar with it. There was a taunt in bottom lane, but yeah, I don't think they're really. He's just doing that to stop them from farming. And it's one of those weird things, actually, where it's almost better from the AD carry and support perspective to just tank the taunt and maybe a tower shot for the privilege and sustain that back up and then just freely hit the tower because Shen can't really force you off.
Impaler's actually come to this top lane now to stop this push. So deadly and damaging towards the tower. Actually, they're going to go in for this one. Barney D taking damage. Impaler has in fact popped his ghost here. That was all a little bit strange for me. Not very well coordinated by SHC. And we've talked about this before, that Impaler, new to the team, technically on loan from Team Dignitas UK squad. Like, this is incredibly obvious that these kind of things can happen.
We saw something almost exactly the same in the first game, I believe we had Super Hot Crew involved in. Mimo was playing Rengar and he wanted to go in, and Impaler wanted to go out. This time it was kind of the flip of that, but either way it cost them a lot of cooldowns for no real gain, and I have to actually, on that one, agree with Mimo's call. At the point where Zyro rooted really efficiently, got them both down, and they weren't able to chase it down, I feel like the Ghost Pop was kind of a difficult decision to make, but not one that should have been made.
Yeah, and still remains up there, does Impaler. And take it away. A couple of CS there from Mima, which is fine because Shen also down on this bottom lane is being helped type by Naruto. So the jungler's really not spending much time in the jungle in this early 5 minutes 44 that we've had so far. They've been babysitting a lot of those single laners just to see who can basically hold on to their towers the longest at this point.
Yeah, and in a tower race, straight up, the fact that Nasus is such a good wave clearer is really strong.
Oh, Heydar actually getting caught out somewhat from this one, but he turns around, puts the damage onto Naruto. He's going to get the kill. Barriers up the turret hit as well. Moops had started to come down to support him, and that in a 2v2 probably shouldn't really ever happen.
And that's what Nasus does poorly as a jungler compared. He is not as strong at all-ins. He is not as strong at anything, in fact, with respect to Olaf, as Olaf can be in terms of all-ins.
Oh, JWoww is in all kinds of trouble as well. Moops will come around, actually picks up that kill as well. And it's just a little bit disastrous. We mentioned if the right people get rolling for SHC, this game could turn pretty one-sided quite easily. As it is right now, 2 kills for the AD carry, 1 for Moops as Morgana in that mid lane. Here comes the bomb down to bottom. It's not got enough damage to kill them, of course, at this point, but it will stop that tower going down, at least for now.
That's one of the really powerful things about Ziggs right now. If situations like that occur where you need to clear a wave right now or lose a tower, he can save it, and that is incredibly important. The cooldown generally also gets to be pretty short late game because he will itemize for an Athene's Unholy Grail. Will give him extra cooldown reduction in addition to most likely a blue buff, and indeed potentially a blue elixir and the short base cooldown. So ends up being a very good wave clear, almost like Ezreal ultimate, but even better for that.
I did see finally Naruto, after he died, did pick himself up a warding totem, so didn't forget the trinket this time around. And Impaler now finally headed back off to the jungle, and that's going to be just in time for the blue buff to come up. Moops, of course, will be gifted this one. He's just headed himself around from that mid lane and will be taking that one away thanks to the Tormented Soil. This top turret, you see the HP that's left on it. It's going to go down a little bit now, and they might end up, after all that, losing out on this turret anyway.
Well, yes, however, the bottom tower is also very low.
That's true.
Thanks to, the only reason it's still standing is thanks to Belgian Beast's bomb. So, nice play by him to get rid of the wave, but indeed, it does look like it will drop. And I think it looks to me like Super Hot Crew are not going to let themselves lose that top tower and then also not take something in return. Renekton, Mima was thinking about roaming down, but even if he doesn't, they will be able to go for the dragon now. It is pinked.
Yeah, pink ward on that one. And Hideout going to continue to push this wave out after that turret fell. That will move on very quickly. As you said, that allows them to really just go straight in there for Dragon. Naruto is recalling on the top side of the map. If they're quick here, they'll have it done before he can get anywhere close to contesting it.
Yeah, and Mima just stopped Barney D from recalling as well. So even if Caitlyn is able to get there, it's still not going to be a numbers advantage for them. So Super Hot Crew making a nice call, getting the tower, and really starting to build steam here. This is getting a little bit worrying for TCM, who, well, they actually are doing honestly surprisingly poorly in the standings. They've had a lot of tough matchups right now, but if they lose this one, doesn't that put them in the or not the same, but getting into a similar number of losses to Caronte?
Well, they'd be sat at 2 for 2 at that point, which is very dangerous considering how well KMT played earlier on. Now, we were talking about TCM, Copenhagen Wolves, and SUPA Hot Crew earlier on, but the fact is, coming into today, KMT had only played one game, and they just won that one in style, their second one, so they're definitely dangerous. This blue buff right now is being fought at by SUPA Hot Crew, will be smited away there by Naruto, but again, well, they're quite happy to see that happen, probably, SUPA Hot Crew. The fact is that Ziggs is not going to have a blue buff to work with.
Yeah, indeed. Incidentally, there was also an exchange in the mid lane that came very, very close to resulting in both the deaths of Moobs and Belgian Beast. Both ultimates used, I think both ignites used, but Morgana held on to her flash, which crucially will mean she can make flash soul shackles engages in the future, and that is a really, really powerful tool. However, she will always have to consider the Zyra ultimate when she does do that.
Now, this could be dangerous here. We've got two men on the top side. Mima farming between the turrets at this point. And JWoww just sat off in the brush, so they know where he is now. The taunt actually coming down, and Impaler needs to get a move on. There's Dominus pop. JWoww realizing, oh, I may have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew from this one. Are they going to flash in? Mima does have a flash available, and he is actually just going to slice and dice in there. Gets the final, and then even manages to get away. Impaler was tanking up the turret, but Naruto coming around the side here. Nice slow coming out. Bot lane, indeed. Barney D did go down there. They did get Haydal low, but low is not a kill. He was waiting with the passive there to see if he could snipe Haydal off. That didn't work out for them. They've picked up their first kill of this one, TCM, but again, losing out in the bottom lane.
Yeah, however, Naruto kind of showing up at the end there and mostly removing the problems that would have occurred if they'd gotten away scot-free from getting that. He's going to be able to defend the tower, and Shen will be able to get back up there relatively shortly, so not a huge concern. Meanwhile, at bottom lane, though, losing Zyra essentially for free, that is not something you can really afford to keep doing if you are TCM. That, again, being said, though, they have still got that really strong late game to consider, and at the moment, the pace that SUPA Hot Crew had, that they were building an advantage at, kind of almost stopped.
Yeah, Haydal has fallen behind by about 10 CS here. I mean, that's going to come back here as another wave starts to push back against him. Obviously, he's got the workings of that Trinity Force at this point. Sheen already in. Phage will come out shortly as well. The top lane, actually, it's Mima that's got the CS lead up there. If we look at the gold, that one's a bit more drastic at almost 1,000 gold.
Yeah, if you start building that level of advantage for Renekton, he will do what we mentioned in Champion Select. He will push Shen back to his tower, then he will roam, then he will make team fights happen. And they'll generally go in his favor because Shen is not going to be as influential as Renekton, assuming Renekton is there from the start. However, as time goes by, JWoww will build a slow advantage, but you've seen that SUPA Hot Crew are willing to commit hard in order to keep him down on his luck. Belgian Beast in the mid lane there actually getting rooted and taking quite a bit of damage, but he's going to be okay after that. And yeah, indeed, SUPA Hot Crew look like they want this tower.
Yeah, I was going to say that JWoww, is he going to back away? What's his plan from this one? And in the end, he just has to walk away from it because he knows that he can't stand and fight with these two. Mima and Impaler both strong at this point, and they may just rotate around to that mid lane because it is already low. Only 665 HP remaining on that one as Mook's getting caught out here a little bit by Naruto. They may be forced to use that crescendo, and actually the rest of the team comes in. There is a crescendo. Naruto flashes away, grasping, Strangle Thorns go down, but Naruto going to get pressured. Bomb comes over from Belgian Beast, but he will die. A double kill for Sona in the end. Not ideal, but you know, at the end of the day, it's going to give Sona that boost as well.
I think Moops died by walking into one of Zig's mines after he was already gone. I think she literally, there was just like 2 mines left in that big minefield, and she walked into the only one that was actually in her path, and she could have quite easily walked around it, which is unfortunate, I think.
Yeah. Slightly disappointing, I think, for them, but at the same time, not the biggest of things either, as we see Heidel there right underneath the tower doing a lot of damage. Acing the ult gonna come through, but Heidel goes straight in there, forces the barrier out of Matroko. Naruto respawn and come back in, but they've done enough damage here to take away that outer turret, the final outer turret left remaining here for TCM. And that gold lead, it's creeping up. We're only 14 minutes into this one. We got a 4,000 gold lead between the two teams, and the Dragons up in half of the minute as well.
Yeah, the pace that was slowing down, as I mentioned, suddenly started accelerating again with one team fight there going well in their favor. That puts them significantly ahead, and now they have the potential, with Mimer in the top lane pushing back Shen, to make a positional play for Dragon. They are certainly moving around there, but Impaler is actually looking to go towards that blue buff of his own. So it may be they're planning to defend against the Dragon and dive Shen again.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility from this one. Meanwhile, Heidel going in towards Matroko, and Heidel actually didn't have any mana there. Did have Flash Barrier available, but he'd already baited out the barrier in that last fight from Matroko, so he knew that wasn't there. The Flash came in, and I think he's quite happy just to get him out of the lane here and start to build that CS lead.
Yes, indeed. Naruto actually finding Mimer in the jungle here. Can he pin him down? Don't think so. It's always a bit difficult when it's Renekton, but Super Hot Crew definitely continuing to apply the map pressure. At the moment, looks like they're going to just form up for the Dragon again.
Yeah, Dragon coming, has just spawned. We see that the pink ward is down from Mixer, and the two of them are going to be able to do this Dragon. Not really scary in terms of any counterplay from TCM at this point, because they're just quite frankly nowhere near it, and they've got vision of both entrances towards that Dragon area from the enemy jungle, and it will be finished off there by Impaler. So another great pickup here for Super Hot Crew.
It's very scary to go against a team like Super Hot Crew, especially if they're ahead, because all it would take if you were to face check a brush is for Morgana to even be a decent distance past the brush to Dark Binding into it, and then go for an actual engage, because TCM at the moment, they don't want to fight. They are a little bit too weak right now to go for it unless they get a really, really smart fight that goes in their favor right from the start. And at the moment, I'm not sure they can even really defend this tower, but even if they do, they have to defend against Olaf in the mid and Renekton at top.
Yeah, they've got to split for this one, to be honest. They need to get their priorities right, as Belgian Beast gets hit with a Dark Binding. Tormented Soil was in the right position as well, and just generally a lot of damage coming across. There's another Dark Binding thrown into the back, and that's always going to be hard against Morgana. She can push deep behind your turret.
Yeah, she will poke and poke and poke and poke because she's built on the Fiend's Unholy Grail. That is some significant poke as well. That kind of thing is why the culling is getting to be more and more popular as time goes by. It actually also scales up really, really hard late game. If that had been level 11 Heidel, probably would have resulted in the kill.
Yeah, it was certainly close. Matroko here caught by the Dark Binding. Moops actually puts his ulti down, and he knows that's enough damage, and that just showing his mastery of Morgana there, really knowing how much he can do and how much damage he can take under the tower. That's going to free this one up. TCM are going to have to give it up.
Yep, they cannot deal with that. And Impaler, he's continuing to hold them there in the mid lane. Nasus, 1 versus 1 against Olaf under tower. Not going to be able to dive that, but keeping him suppressed, keeping him from being in bot lane to clear the wave is really, really important. It means he's not able to get his farm up either. Would you like to listen to Morgana's recall animation again?
It is good. It is definitely slightly scary, but cool at the same time. So a bit of a shopping trip coming out there. The Fiend's Unholy Grail, of course, finished for Morgana. Needlessly large rod now added in for Moops, and we are seeing Lucian going with almost 1,000 gold. Already has that Trinity Force in place too.
Yeah, with a full Trinity Force now, Lucian starting to get very, very bursty, and that's fitting very, very well with the playstyle that we're seeing at the moment. Running with like a 1-1-3 split push, they are just keeping TCM so split up that Shen isn't really able to safely make number advantage team fights happen for them, because if he does, he's basically forfeiting his tower to Renekton, and if that were to happen, that would be opening them up, and they'd have to win a really decisive team fight to make that actually a worthwhile endeavor.
Now, altogether, SHC looking as strong as we've seen them in the last couple of days, and as strong, that's made them one of the big favorites to actually go through into that promotion event here in Cologne. As we are going to see a play on the red buff, Naruto actually having to smite that one away there at the end to make sure that it does stay safe. But you see the pressure that they're under at this point, and as we said, we've not seen JWoww really leave this top lane. Mima really keeping him up there this entire time, putting damage down as he goes as well.
Yeah, but you can actually start to see there that JWoww is building I mean, he's not building an advantage, he's building himself up to be capable of trading with Mima. Obviously, no Dominus used, and he can't really pursue out from under the tower, but Renekton can no longer ignore him and just hit the tower. That is not really an option, obviously partly because the Sunfire Cape will aggro the tower, but also just because Shen's damage is starting to get to a point where Mima cannot ignore it.
I don't think that's going to actually deter him all from this top lane, though. He's sticking in there. We've got 4 men from SHC at the middle turret, 4 men from TCM trying to defend that one as well, as Impaler just going to go straight out there, baits out, picks up the trap, and the culling comes into that backside. Barney D losing pretty much half of his health from that one. Heidel off towards the side. Needs to be careful that they don't catch him out from that one, but at this point, SHC are the team dictating the entire pace of this game.
Yeah, indeed. And Zig's pick here, though, for TCM is pretty much the only reason they aren't just getting poked out and forced away. He's doing some really, really great work with the wave clear, and that's just making it so that at the moment, he is kind of stymieing the whole push out of Super Hot Crew. They're not having an easy time actually taking towers. Because normally what they do is they poke someone down, they get them low enough to force them to recall, then someone tanky tanks the tower, AD carry, does some damage to the tower, rinse and repeat until the tower drops. Thing is, when people are recalling, Ziggs has a 100% get out of jail free, I'm going to cover this tower for now card.
Oh, Naruto door here though, he could do it, get out of jail free card is what I was trying to go for, because he got locked up completely in that last fight there and finished off, and that is... You know, your Nasasu, you're relying to be the big tanky beast barking his way through with that skin, which is awesome, by the way. I love that when his ultimate's running.
Have you seen the dance?
Yeah, it's overall just an incredibly cool skin, but that doesn't seem to be helping him out too much this game. 1-3-1 right now, caught out there once again underneath the tower, and we see them going back. Just one interesting fact to look at here. 5,900 gold on Sona. It's the same as Shen. That's more than the AD carry, and that's more than the support, it's more than the jungler. That is not a good sign.
No, that is showing actually quite how much this gold lead is influencing the game. 7,000 in total is really, really worrying for TCM. They are, however, playing at the moment in a very defensive way, and they're slowly being eroded. But the distance between the two teams will get less as time goes by. It's just literally a matter of how well TCM can defend their towers against the poke of Super Hot Crew, because at the moment, it's not working out for them. They can't afford to keep losing towers at this pace, but it gets harder and harder as time goes by. And the inhibitor towers now also have actually got some regen.
Yes, they do, which keeps you in the game a little bit longer, I think, and that was the point of it, to make the... a comeback possible, basically, with obviously the inhibitors coming up quicker here and what have you. Barney D getting caught out from this one, having to flash away, and actually the satchel charge brings them even closer to being able to take down Naruto Adore as well. And that is just an unfortunate case, really. They tried to push this wave back out, getting caught out, flashing away, using that summoner spell, and I think now SHC are in a position where they just want to force their way in. Mima came down from the top side, Naruto Adore again goes down, and this is going to be the inner turret in that mid lane.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose that much ground. Belgian Beast having to flash out, and they're going in.
Yeah, they're going in. Stun coming in there from Mima, and he will be able to pick that one up, and that leaves them in a great position. Maybe they're able to get locked up here. No, slice and dice away, but it was actually the Ignite from JWoww that did finish him off. So, funnily enough, they've managed to hold this inner turret.
Yeah, possibly not worth the dive there, but they are still building more of a gold advantage than they had before. A little bit of poke continuing there, but it doesn't look like that's going to be a long-term thing. And I would actually just like to note that Sona, this game, has done something very, very different from the from the previous Sonas we've been seeing this tournament, in that she has gone for a Seeker's Arm Guard and a Ruby Crystal, and that is going to make her a bit tankier, but she hasn't gone for the Mikhail's Crucible, which is incredibly good on her.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I really like right now about 3.14 is the fact that people are doing different things. We're not seeing the same, standard build from really from the supports or from really anyone. JWoww, by the way, is
doomed.
Is dead. He's not getting out of this one. Tried to steal away the blue buff, just ended up paying with his life.
Unfortunate aspect of Shen is he doesn't kill things very fast, but Super Hot Crew are now taking an advantage. They know Caitlyn is bottom. That gives them a very easy chance to take the Baron if they can get it, but Moops, he's playing 3-man zone.
Black Shield.
Yeah, too good.
Yeah, nothing really damaged with them. Very sorry about that for you, but I'm quite happy with that one. Moops here looking for Barney D actually, and is actually going to flash in there, uses the ultimate. And Barney D having a torrid time of things goes down. Naruto tried to get in the back to stop this Baron attempt, and they did actually go straight for him here. Heidel goes very low, does die in the end, and that's not all that bad, but Moops is the one that's really zoning them out. Killed off Belgian Beast. Baron didn't actually reset there either, and SHC, Super Hot Crew, they're going to pick that one up. They're now 16-4 in kills, 4-3 in turrets, and almost a 10,000 gold lead.
Yeah, Belgian Beast dying with his Mega Inferno Bomb still available. Very, very unfortunate for him. Indeed, Barney D, much the same. Big TCM ultimates that could have been used to disrupt the Baron. Moops taking them out of the picture before they could manage it. I think Matroka just gets slowed by Olaf.
Yeah, and I think he could be in a bit of trouble here because Impaler has red buff on. Matroco, he's just dodged into it. That is definitely unfortunate, and now he realizes this one's over. Let's have a little bit of fun, and at some point, Impaler's probably going to almost one-shot him with Reckless Swing. And there it is.
He didn't let Mixer get the assist gold. A bit surprised about that, actually.
To be fair, Mixer's got 217 right now and has more gold than the entire opposition. So I'm not sure it's technically that bad of a thing after all.
I mean, it's a small difference, and actually that's a very good call there by Super Hot Crew. Resetting the blue buff because they guessed that Ziggs would guess that they were doing the blue buff, and hence that would throw the Mega Inferno Bomb, they would be able to clear that out. So definitely Super Hot Crew now looking to close out the game, but they are still having to contend with the huge anti-siege from TCM. They are very good at clearing waves, but they're so far behind now that people getting caught like that is just unacceptable.
Yeah, that's bad news for them all around. I mean, Moops again, I talked about it earlier, but his Morgana so far this tournament has been absolutely brilliant, and again showing those dark bindings on command. As Naruto going low, JWoww actually going to taunt right into the middle of the team here, but there's a poke back from Super Hot Crew, doing so much damage, and the culling comes in there as well. Naruto had to back away to go back to heal, and well, the rest of Super Hot Crew are probably going to be fully healed as well, thanks to that Baron buff by the time he gets back.
Yeah, not the worst situation though for TCM though. There was no minion wave for Super Hot Crew to take advantage of the health bars to go and siege the tower down, but it feels like it's only delaying the inevitable.
Yes, it does at this point. It's Naruto gets caught out once again. Strangle Thorns go down, but they only really land on towards Mima from this one. JWoww gets hit by the Dark Bind as well. Moops is actually tanking up the turret here. He needs to go away. Oh, flash from Barney D, and actually does get the kill there in the end. Heidel is going to take the ace in the hole, and the bomb bounces through, but it hit Mima on the way in, and the heal from Mixer actually came out, saved him. All a little bit messy there underneath the tower, though.
But you can see the inhibitor tower is still standing, and that means that TCM are still in this game. The Baron buff, not completely wasted, but getting quite... Oh, Naru.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's going to try and escape from this one. Actually, that's like the first Stan United I think I've seen the entire game that I really remember coming down from JWoww. He does get away, but unfortunately Naruto won't be quite as lucky. That leaves a 4-0-5 Olaf, a 6-2-6 Morgana, 2-1-7 Lucian, a 3-0-10 Sona. Wow.
Yeah, they just can't afford to be in their own jungle at the moment. Forfeiting their buff seems like a logical thing to do when the alternative is forfeiting your buff and your life at the same time. Presumably thinking that Super Hot Crew would have all gone back as a unit there, but Super Hot Crew on very similar wavelength were thinking about what TCM were thinking, and they thought correctly, it seems.
Now, I was just having a look there at Sona from the Frost Fang, not the Fost Fang, because that's not a thing. A lot of gold generated so far with that one, but it's the kills obviously that have really given it that spike. Got the Zhonya's Hourglass now in there as well. 3-0-10, not something you see every single day.
Zhonya's Hourglass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually surprisingly high damage Sona. It's actually a funny thing, you occasionally do see it in solo queue now. Sona mid lane. Sona's AP ratios are not that bad. Her heal is a little bit weak on the AP front, but her Q has huge base damage and with a little bit of magic pen hits like a train. And the crescendo, when you get that instant massive magic damage in a massive AoE and the stun, she's really, really important in that situation. And the other thing about having a Zhonya's is it just means she can be incredibly ballsy and bait people out. They may not even have noticed she's built it. It's not exactly a conventional choice.
Now, more of the jungle being stolen away here by Super Hot Crew. And Impaler stealing away that red. Barney D actually coming around the side. He's got himself a haunting guys at this stage of the game. With Mikhail's Crucible as well, but it's hard to see a way that they can come back from this. I hate to say it, but it kind of is that way at this point.
They do hold towers well though, and it's something, as long as they don't lose the towers, they're okay. And the regen did bring it back up a little bit. It's just a question of can they hold Super Hot Crew off for a very, very long time. And considering how well Moops has been doing at binding people, that seems unlikely at this stage.
Yeah, bindings, I mean, look at that one. That's like through the minion wave, past Narutrador and onto Matroko. Like, ridiculous aim, basically, from Moops at this point of things. And he's done that constantly throughout this game so far. Finally, it looks like Mimer's got bored of this whole pushing stuff, and he just wants to take this tower down, but JWoww holding out strong.
Yeah, Shen now getting to that point where Renekton can only really 1v1 him if he's willing to use Dominus, and that's a bit difficult for them, but it doesn't really matter. He just needs to make sure JWoww isn't able to teleport down very easily, just needs to make sure everything goes their way overall. And you can see he's not doing any damage, but he's quite willing to just sit there for a long time.
Right now, Mixer just holding the front lines as they push this bottom wave out. They're going to be stealing another blue buff over here for Moops. That will make him a very happy man. We'll see how long a cooldown is actually on Dark Binding at this point. And he's going to throw that in. It's about 7 seconds, which is not a long time whatsoever to be waiting for that to come up.
Considering that he is half healthing Caitlyn in every single Dark Binding that lands, and that his team, especially with Lucian, is capable of taking off the other 50% while rooted very easily indeed, and Hadel doing it right now.
Yeah, there is the culling coming out as well. Barney D has to get off to the side because that was shredding through him as well. And this turret in the top lane is going to go down. Or is it? That's the question. JWoww.
Tune in next week.
There we go. Dominus is put in, and they say, you know what, just screw this. We just want to take this tower down. JWoww's at half HP. Narutrador actually doing decent damage to them at the back here, as we see that Randuin's Omen active. Gonna be popped. Mimer going very, very low, but they walk away from things. Meanwhile, down on the bottom side, Barney D went very low. They finally got rid of that inhibitor turret, but now the rest of the team coming in on towards Hadel. And not many kills resulting in any of this. A lot of damage being done across the board, but it's those towers that they're looking for. If you look at the gold to spend here, everyone's around about 2,000 gold for Super Hot Crew to go and spend. I just wondered what that was, and then I realized once again that it is, in fact, that Morgana skin.
Production, is our mixer going again? Right now, honestly, actually, just a second ago, I feel like TCM arguably should have just tried to rush Baron there. Just like, go for it, because at the moment, now their shell has been cracked. They've got no inhibitor tower. that means they are never pretty much coming back into this in terms of a map push situation, unless they can get some incredible, like, miraculous team fight games going on there. And by not going for it, they're essentially meaning letting Super Hot Crew just take it away for free. They cannot contest that, but they can't contest their inhibs or their inhib towers either now with that Baron buff going away from them. So it's just essentially, it's a lose-lose situation, but maybe they could have made a play that had like a 10%, 5% chance of working, but could have kept them in for a while longer.
There was a ward over the wall from Shen, just at the perfect time to see Baron go down, basically. That's what that happened.
It's got the timer.
There. Got the timer on it for next time. I'm not sure there will be a next time, though. That's the problem here for TCM. But Super Hot Crew have a huge lead on them at this point of the game. And it just feels like one of those where we're saying it's a matter of time, really, until they get the start to a fight that they want to close out.
Yeah, they're playing cautious, and fair play to them. Super Hot Crew, they have a lot riding on this game, so understandable they're playing it slow and safe right now, but it's actually worth thinking about. We did discuss this possibility at the start. Super Hot Crew, they are now on, essentially, I mean, in terms of the difficult matchups, they're on the same record as Copenhagen Wolves. The only one that really hasn't been seen now is them versus Copenhagen Wolves themselves. And judging from this game, they're having a more difficult time with TCM, but that might just be because TCM's composition is so difficult to push against.
So let's see now if they can get in there onto the inhib. Lucian actually pushed all the way up on this bottom lane. Naruto a little bit caught out. Impaler, though, stepping on the trap. And we can see just not able to do that much damage to either Olaf or Renekton at this point. And JWoww is going to be chased down from it, but this is, again, just them pushing in there with their strongest two men at the front, getting the damage down from the backside, and now moving on to this second opportunity, which is the bottom lane for them. Acing all comes through, actually will be caught by Mooks pretty much, who's still looking for those dark bindings to land and still having the odd one here and there landing.
Yeah, eventually will land the binding. I don't think, judging from the way they're playing at the moment, Super Hot Crew are actually going to dive this unless they get a really good binding and can burst someone down instantly. But they don't need to. They just need to wait for the minions in top, minions in mid, and just apply pressure.
Oh, and there is a binding landing onto Matroko. The Cullen comes in. Haydar picks up the kill thanks to that one. Belgian Beast now being chased right down to the back. Barney D's going to go down. JWoww did actually use his ultimate to go and save Naruto there in the end. Sorry, that was Belgian Beast in the end. Naruto now backing away from things completely. This opens up that inhib turret. The inhibitor itself is going to go down. They've got super minions now moving into the base. They can win the game right here.
Yes, they can indeed, and that means we have a really interesting matchup later. Copenhagen Wolves versus Super Hot Crew. I'm now looking forward to that. Although I did just notice, just as a kind of random point of curiosity that I hadn't actually noticed, it looked to me right there as if Mikhail's Crucible could cleanse off a Morgana ultimate, which I thought was Quicksilver Sash only, but as it happens, it seems like it worked.
Well, there is a Nexus down and a very